Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today, Stefan?
I'm good.
Now, your presentation that you just gave in front of the audience here at Northern Ways was epic, talking about the technical components of latency. Can you just do a brief summation of that for our audience here?
Yeah, sure. So what I was talking about is that when you do streaming nowadays compared to broadcast, then there's a delay. So basically bits arriving later than broadcast TV. So what we are trying to do and what standardization is trying to do right now is to, let's say, catch up and to be as fast as broadcast.
Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit why you're doing this with Fraunhofer. What is your role within Fraunhofer?
Okay, I'm with Fraunhofer FOKUS, a research institute in Berlin, Germany. And what we do is we develop media technologies. We work with industry worldwide, and basically we help them to get up to speed and to basically deploy all those technologies and make them working.
So you're engaged by different companies to help them in that development process.
Yeah.
And do you then, what you develop, do you license that back to them? Yeah. Or do you have co-ownership of the technology?
So we participate in standardization. Mm-hmm. So where we see what's going on there, and we go for our own, let's say, early prototype implementation, proof of concepts. Then we show this off to the industry. And then, of course, we also go for product developments, and then we license this to industry, or we work together with big industry players to integrate that in their products.
So when you say the big industry, these are obviously global companies, but are you seeing other regions around the world more advanced in their exploration, or is it pretty much the same migration path for each one of the companies, recognizing this is where we need to go and we want to work with you?
That's the interesting thing with the streaming tech. This is a global phenomenon. This is everywhere. So we are working with partners in the States as same as in Asia, it's in Africa, so everywhere.
Everywhere. So this gives you a really great perspective on where television might be in 3 years from now, because you're seeing this process and you're obviously making the development timeline to be able to accomplish that, and the business models are starting to stabilize and they're starting to look at where they might go because they're asking you to help them in that evolution. Where do you think television is going to be in 3 years from now?
So there's two different aspects. One is the technical perspective. So the technical, let's say, prerequisites are different. So there are different kind of networks, bandwidth is available, and so on. And there, of course, there's the difference of what services are available and what is really going to be deployed there. And from television, from my perspective, in the next 3 years, if you're asking, I would say we will be seeing much more offers. We will be seeing new players showing up. So there are two big ones right around the corner. And this will shake the market. And let's see whether we will see even more in 3 years, or maybe there is some kind of, let's say, everything comes together and there will be just a few left.
So you're saying that there's going to be a consolidation in the market for being able to deliver this in a live sense?
Yeah. So just have in mind, we are moving towards a subscription world. So you have to have a subscription to receive content, and you have to have different subscriptions for different content, and you might end up then with, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 subscriptions, which people don't like at all. So, and there might be on that perspective, I see a consolidation that there has to be a collaboration. There have to be, let's say, combined offers even then between big players.
So when you say combined offers in television, are you then seeing, some of the discussion's been around some like ad-supported news, then the selection of what the content is from a linear standpoint, on demand, over IP, and then going to live sports, being able to deliver that, which might be sponsorship. So there's a combination of programming versus just strictly, and that's subscribed, subscription. It's like to the level of how much you're going to have available to you versus just pure subscription on demand. The need from the audience right at the moment from the research that's out in the marketplace has basically said that they want live news, and then they want live sports. Live sports I could see subscription to, but there's a need for production costs to be able to have that sponsored for upfront costs that have to go into whatever that event might be. And so are you starting to see that kind of model come into play?
So what we see starting right now, and there's good examples all over the world for, let's say, augmenting or enriching the service offers. So there's augmented scenarios where you have overlays, where you have even more information and statistics and things like this, and this adds a value to a particular service or a particular offer, and people value that and are willing to pay for this. And this is also one way how one offering can be more attractive to the audience than another one, for instance. And but I also see is that there might be even more like let's say global content market, so to say.
Yes.
More like an auction thing, so where even content producers can, let's say, put their content on a, I wouldn't say platform, but can offer their content to be played out then worldwide. And this is what I mean with it might be available, or content will be available then also for completely new markets which haven't been planned before, and also the distribution and the business models behind them might be different in the future.
Sure. So that a content marketplace. In other words, having that available, certain windows, and having that access to it, so everyone has a chance to view that. So that plays into the last question of cooperation, competition, competitive offerings. You're, as a research group, you pretty much do that. You look at that cooperation with different vendors and different providers out in the marketplace to be able to serve up new types of ideas. And you share that.
Yeah, essentially what we do, so we are pretty much interested in cooperation, of course. So because from a technical perspective, everything has to come together, everything has to be working together to enable all those cost savings and to make it working. Because if you want to do, for instance, a live streaming worldwide, global coverage, you have to rely on standards. You have to come down with the cost. You have to, let's say, minimize the devices, the different kinds of devices you have to reach, and things like this. So this is also only possible with cooperation. If you're talking business terms or if you're talking business models, even there, only cooperation can enable new ways of models, how to interwork and how to offer your content to players you have never thought before might be interested in that.
So the content marketplace and a standardized platform of CMAP, for example. We could carry on this conversation for some time. So I appreciate you taking a moment to talk with us here at the show. Thank you.
Thank you.